Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Miami Sports Report. I'm Grant, and I'm here to talk with you about the Miami Dolphins winning their first game of the season against the New York Jets on Monday Night Football, 27-21. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to be able to see all of our videos on GM Sports Report. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So, like I said, Dolphins coming out on Monday Night Football, New Jerseys. They looked cool and everything. Stylish and all of that. But more importantly, we got the dub. First win of the season. We're now 1-3. The Jets fall to 0-4. Overall, a really good win. There is a big thing looming. As we all know, seeing Tyreek Hill go down. We now know that he has had a season-ending injury, multiple torn ligaments in his knee. One of those including his ACL. So very upsetting to see Tyreek Hill. Despite what your opinions are of him as a person or on the field, off the field, that kind of thing. You never want to see a player go down like that, an injury like that, where you can see the dislocation on your television. Those are just the worst to see. And for a guy like Hill, who's in the later stages of his career, you never want to see something like that happen because there's always a question on, in football, if he can come back and be the same ever again. So I hope that Tyreek Hill has a great recovery, a speedy recovery. It stinks to see, and this is obviously a huge loss for the Dolphins. For any fans that had any expectations still of us possibly winning any games, they're very slim now without our star wide receiver Tyreek Hill, who was having a great game up until his injury. He actually led the receivers for the whole game despite missing the whole second half essentially. 6 receptions for 67 yards, so was really looking comfortable. Him and Tua looked very good together. Just stinks to see that injury, man. It kind of dims the win that happened on Monday night. Like, I was excited to win, but the whole time the back of my mind is talking about Tyreek Hill and his injury. So it's very upsetting to see. But let's try to get more into the positives. Dolphins played a pretty clean game on offense, no turnovers. Tua finally didn't have a turnover, especially in a crucial moment, which we know that's happened every week so far. Tua didn't have specifically a great game. He was only 17 of 25 for 177 yards, but did have 2 touchdowns. And like I said, no turnovers. That's all you can really ask for. Devon Achane showing once again that he's the best offensive player on this team. 20 carries for 99 yards and a touchdown. And then how about Darren Waller, the guy who was retired and came out of retirement, missed the first few weeks. I don't think anyone had him making an impact on this team anytime soon. Comes in for his first game of the season, first NFL game in a few years, and has 2 touchdowns and 3 receptions for 27 yards. So big, big momentum changer there with having him catching those touchdowns. That first one he had was huge, going on it on fourth down. Tua kind of just threw it up to him in double coverage, and Waller made the great play. And that really was a big momentum swing in that game. So shout out Darren Waller. If we go back to the beginning of the game, we started out with a field goal, which I thought, was good, an opening drive. But then I was nervous that whole first drive of the Jets offense. They were just running it down our throats, and we looked like we had no answer. And then lo and behold, they get to the goal line, and Jack Jones, of all people, forces a fumble, and we recover it, which was absolutely huge because they were just I'm surprised they didn't score a touchdown. I mean, obviously, if they didn't fumble, they would have scored a touchdown. So that was a huge break for us there, stopping that run game. And after that drive, I was really thinking like, oh boy, I don't know, if we can't stop the run, then we might not have a chance. But luckily, I will say this, the defense did turn it on a little bit after that first drive. They didn't play like a top defense or anything like that by all means, but they looked like an NFL caliber defense, which was nice to see. I believe they finished the game with 3 takeaways, so that's pretty good. One of those being a big one after halftime on the kick return. So some pretty good stuff there. They weren't doing too good of a job, stopping Justin Fields from scrambling, but they did force a fumble on him in a big spot. So that was good to see. So yeah, defense overall, they stepped it up after that first drive. They did have some collapses here and there, but that's expected with this defense. You got to take what you can get. Them holding a team to only 21 points is a win in my book, because I do think this offense is capable of scoring in that 27 range like often, because I do think it's a talented offense with Devon Achane and Waddle, and I mean with Hill, but now we're not going to have Hill anymore. Um, so yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised by the defense and happy about that. Um, but yeah, like I said, the big thing for moving forward here is going to be Tyreek Hill. I don't know how you move forward. I love Malik Washington. I hope that we see him get an increase in role. I think he's the guy that can give you that kind of potential breakout performance that can help in the absence of a guy like Tyreek Hill, but only time will tell. You got Nick Akinye Westbrook, who's a seasoned veteran that can, maybe make some plays here and there. Jalen Waddle's obviously going to have to step up and be the wide receiver one for this team. Um, I think Devon Achane's still going to be the center of this offense, if not even more now than what it already was. So they got a lot of questions to be answered before their next game. So I'm interested to see what they have up their sleeve. But yeah, this is going to be a quicker episode just because, it's just a game review. So nothing too crazy to talk about. Um, Let me know down below what your guys' thoughts on this game was, what you think should be the game plan moving forward, missing out on Tyreek Hill. Um, like I said, I personally would love to see Malik Washington get a larger role in this offense. I think he's the guy that has the flash and the speed to kind of match the absence of Tyreek Hill. I don't think anyone on the team's as fast as Tyreek Hill, but um, I think Malik Washington's a guy you can watch out for. But overall, a good win on Monday Night Football. New uniforms, like I said. It was definitely the highest point of this season that we've had so far after all these brutal losses we've had. So it's nice to talk about something positive for a change. But even when we're talking about something positive, something huge that's negative pops up with the Tyreek Hill injury. So that just seems to be the theme for this Dolphins team. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching this review of the Dolphins versus Jets. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to be able to see all of our videos. I'm Grant, and I'm going to be signing off for now. Have a great week, everybody.